In a highly advanced future society, the science of robotics has reached its peak. Humans have created a new artificial life form known as the surrogate. These surrogates are lifelike robotic bodies that are connected directly to the human brain. Each operator uses a special chair equipped with over 100 sensory connectors that attach to different areas of the brain. Once connected, every thought a human has is instantly carried out by the surrogate. Officials describe this process as controlling a second body purely through the mind. The creator of this groundbreaking technology is Dr. Lionel Cantor. His original purpose was to help people with disabilities experience life like everyone else. However, only 3 years after the invention, surrogates began to be used in warfare to enhance military power. As production increased, the cost of the devices dropped, making them affordable to ordinary people. This moment changed human civilization forever. People started using surrogates to leave their homes instead of going out physically, and gradually became completely dependent on them. By using surrogates, individuals could go anywhere without physically moving, greatly reducing risks such as accidents, crime, illness, and physical harm. People could also change their appearance however they wanted without surgery, dieting, or exercise. The surrogate became a person's new identity, interacting with friends, coworkers, and society while the real body remained safely at home. Only 7 years after their introduction, the world's largest surrogate company, VSI, released an official statement announcing that 98% of the global population now use surrogates in some part of their daily lives. Humanity had entered a new era of isolation, as people rarely left their homes anymore. Instead, surrogates interacted with other surrogates, and this became the new way of living. Because of this lifestyle, violent crime, contagious diseases, and discrimination dropped to the lowest levels in history. Still, not everyone supported this technology. A small group of people believed that humans were never meant to live through machines. These individuals created surrogate-free zones in different regions of the United States. They were led by a mysterious man known only as the Prophet. 14 years after the invention of surrogates, a young man heads out for a night at a nightclub. While on the phone with his father, he lies and says he is on his way to see an opera. At the club, he leaps from a balcony and lands safely, revealing that he is using a surrogate. While dancing, he meets a young woman and the two leave the club together. As they begin making out outside, a man on a motorcycle approaches and activates a strange device that instantly kills both of them. When police and paramedics arrive at the scene, they discover that the male surrogate's memory chip has been completely destroyed, making it impossible to trace its owner. However, the female surrogate is still registered in the system under the name Cameron McAllister. FBI agents Tom Greer and Jennifer Peters track down the address linked to the registration. When they arrive, they discover that Cameron is actually a middle-aged man who has been murdered while sitting in his surrogate chair. This becomes the first real homicide in many years, shocking law enforcement. The scene shifts to a moving subway train filled entirely with surrogates. Tom is on his way home from work, surrounded by artificial bodies. When he returns home, he disconnects from his handsome, youthful surrogate and brings water to his real body, which looks much older and worn. He has been using the surrogate to live the life he no longer physically can. After placing the surrogate back in its station, he steps out to speak with his wife, Maggie, but only her surrogate appears. He and Maggie no longer see each other in person and communicate solely through her artificial body. Tom suggests they take a vacation together, but Maggie refuses to go in person and says she would rather send her surrogate instead and experience the trip remotely. Elsewhere, a group of teenagers discover their friend Jared Cantor dead in his dorm room, still connected to his stim chair. At the FBI office, Tom and Jennifer analyze the case and realize that the same device used to destroy the surrogates also killed their human operators. This outcome had been considered impossible, since operators were not supposed to feel what their surrogates experienced. They soon discover that Jared was the son of Dr. Lionel Cantor. The agents schedule a meeting with Dr. Cantor and speak to him through one of his surrogates. They learn that he has been operating multiple surrogates at once, which is illegal. However, because he is the inventor of the technology, they allow it. They also discover that Jared was using one of Cantor's surrogates at the time of his death, leading them to believe that Cantor himself had been the intended target. Tom and Jennifer then visit the headquarters of VSI to investigate further, but the company's CEO dismisses their concerns and insists that surrogates are completely safe. By reviewing embedded camera footage from Jared's surrogate, they obtain an image of the killer. They bring it to FBI System Administrator Bobby Saunders, who identifies the suspect as Miles Strickland. Bobby also reveals that he has access to every surrogate in the country, and can shut them down whenever necessary. After tracking Miles's location, Tom and another officer pursue him by helicopter. Just as they close in, Miles fires the mysterious weapon, instantly destroying their surrogates and killing the helicopter operator. Tom's real body is injured as well, and his partner is killed. The helicopter crashes into a restricted anti-surrogate zone. Before Tom can capture Miles, his surrogate is destroyed by the anti-surrogate group. Tom collapses unconscious from his injuries. Later, Miles meets with the Prophet, who asks what he revealed to Tom. Miles insists he said nothing. The Prophet kills him anyway. Tom wakes up in the hospital and learns he has been suspended for a week for entering restricted airspace. Despite this, he decides to continue the investigation without a surrogate for the first time in years. He travels to the restricted zone hoping to question Miles, but instead witnesses his body being cremated. When Tom asks the Prophet about the weapon, the man denies any knowledge of it. When the group realizes Tom is a police officer, they attack him. He narrowly escapes after a young man offers him a ride home. The driver turns out to be one of Dr. Cantor's surrogates. Cantor asks Tom about his son's case and advises him to focus on locating the source of the weapon. When Tom arrives home injured, he finds Maggie spending time with a group of young friends through her surrogate. She becomes nervous when she sees Tom in his real body, but he says nothing. Later, he sees her speaking flirtatiously with another man and attacks him, but the man is only a surrogate and feels no pain. Shortly afterward, a man breaks into Jennifer's home and murders her. He then takes control of her surrogate. The following day, Tom visits a military general and asks about the weapon. The general explains that it is called an overload device. It was created as a cyber weapon meant to infect surrogates with a virus during war. However, it was later discovered that the virus also killed the human operators. Once this was discovered, the production of the weapon was stopped, and all units were destroyed, except for one. The weapon had been built by VSI. In exchange for this information, Tom reveals that the restricted area contains the missing device. Soon after, the Prophet gives the weapon to his followers to deliver to Jennifer's surrogate. Tom later visits Maggie at her workplace and asks her whether she still misses their son. It is revealed that they lost their child in a tragic car accident, and Maggie never emotionally recovered. We briefly see her real body, aged and frail, completely different from her youthful surrogate. The couple continues to grieve their child in their own ways. Elsewhere, the military launches an attack on the Prophet's group to reclaim the weapon. When they shoot the Prophet, they discover that he, too, is only a surrogate. The scene shifts to Dr. Cantor monitoring the situation on his computer. It is revealed that Cantor himself has been using the Prophet as a puppet in an attempt to undo the damage caused by his own invention. Tom later meets Jennifer's surrogate, now controlled by Cantor. She explains that VSI and its CEO Andy Stone had learned of Cantor's efforts to halt surrogate usage, which would have caused massive financial losses. They attempted to assassinate Cantor using the overload weapon, but instead killed his son by mistake. Devastated by Jared's death, Cantor vowed to destroy everyone who relied on surrogates. However, Cantor still needs both the weapon and its activation codes. Jennifer already possesses the weapon and asks Tom to retrieve Stone's computer files as proof. Tom confronts Stone, knocks him unconscious, downloads the data, and escapes. With both the weapon and the code, Jennifer heads to Bobby to unleash the virus across every surrogate in the world. Tom realizes Jennifer's surrogate has been compromised, but before he can stop her, they are involved in a crash. Jennifer continues toward Bobby, while Tom goes straight to confront Cantor. Jennifer holds Bobby at gunpoint and activates the virus. Within minutes, every surrogate operator will die. At the same time, Tom reaches Cantor's mansion and demands to know why he is doing this. Cantor explains that he created surrogates to help the disabled, not to allow the entire world to hide inside machines. He believes humanity has become addicted, and his son's death must mean something. After giving his explanation, Cantor takes a pill and ends his life. Tom takes control of Jennifer's surrogate and asks Bobby how to stop the virus. Bobby quickly provides the necessary code, and they manage to save Jennifer's real body. Now Tom is faced with a final system prompt asking whether he wants to save all surrogates. With only seconds left, he hesitates, but ultimately selects no. All around the world, surrogates shut down instantly. Hundreds collapse in the streets. For the first time in years, people step outside in their real bodies. Tom rushes home to check on Maggie and finds that she is not in her room. he discovers her in their son's bedroom. The film ends as the two embrace as their true selves. Your support means everything to us, so don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to stay connected.